Hot and so hot and hurt.
The most important thing we learned in this class is that climate change is real and that skepticism and denial is dangerous. We have studied charts and statistics that prove that our Earth is changing. We have seen real people around the world that are greatly affected by this disastrous phenomenon. However, this is not enough proof for some people. There are many who have their heads in the sand when it comes to the issue of global warming, the skeptics and the deniers. Many excuses have emerged that supposedly explain these climate changes and debunk scientific data and studies. This video contains viewpoints from several extremists and reveals their chronic denial on the issue of global warming, and also depicts some of the alternative explanations they have for recent climate changes. Our first guest is Kari's good pal, Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, the fires? That's global warming? Yep. That's exactly right. Colorado wildfires are due to climate change. You know why the fires are raging out of control? I don't know what started them, but the environmentalist wackos won't let anybody go in there and clear the deadwood out. So forests in this country remain tinderboxes. It doesn't take anything. They will not allow forests to be cleared, the deadwood taken out. All there is, therefore, is a bunch of kindling. It is not an exaggeration. The vast, vast majority of problems we have in this country are directly traceable to liberals, Democrats, and I know that that sounds simplistic and it probably is not persuasive, but I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say it. I really don't. And it isn't complicated.
Okay, Rush, you're right. It's the environmental wackos who have been causing wildfires. The extreme liberals and Democrats probably even caused Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Sandy. Congratulations, you have caught on to the climate change conspiracy. According to polls, the amount of climate change skeptics increased from 2008 to 2011. In 2008, 47% of the public believed that global warming is primarily caused by humans, whereas only 40% thought that in 2011. Next guest is Rush Limbaugh's old friend, Mark Morano, giving his account of the global warming hoax.
Mark Morano, if I may, you are implacably opposed to the concept of man-made climate change. Why?
We followed the evidence. There are quite literally hundreds of factors that influence global temperature, everything from tilt of the Earth's axis to ocean cycles to water vapor, methane, solar system, the sun, cloud feedback, volcanic dust. The idea that CO2 is the tail that wags the dogs is not supportable. The global warming alarm spread by Al Gore in the United Nations is in utter scientific collapse. If you look at the satellite data, we actually have had no significant warming since 1998. Actually, no warming. We've been cooling in recent years. Now we've gone 16 years without global warming, according to the UN data. They're failing on their predictions. Sea level, not only is it failing to accelerate, it's actually dropped a year or two ago, and it's showing no signs of acceleration. Global temperatures have flattened out 10, 15, 20 years, depending on the data source. You go through polar bears, they're at or near historic highs. Cholera, malaria, Mount Kilimanjaro, all the stuff Al Gore warned about isn't coming true.
Our final guest is Bill Mayer, who slams Republican climate change skeptics and explains why it's important that people pay attention to climate change.
And finally, new rules. Stop pretending climate change is a future problem. In the past few years, scientists as well as regular folks have been able to observe climate change by using a state-of-the-art instrument. Our eyes. Did you see the pictures a couple of weeks ago from Australia? This is what happens when an overheated planet produces a new kind of super drought. And experts say Los Angeles, which just had the largest wildfire ever, could be next to get what happened to Australia. Do you want to live on Mars? Fire season used to last 4 months out here. Now it's all year round, and that can't be good for tourism. Travelers like warm weather, not hell. Actually, Copenhagen is where Obama will be returning in December for a long overdue worldwide conclave about our melting planet. And while he's in Copenhagen, the president is going to be shadowed by Senator James Inhofe, Republican from Hee-Haw. who insists that global warming is a hoax, a plot by liberals to get Ed Begley an Oscar and destroy the very core of our freedoms, the plastic bag industry. Now, this man is the ranking Republican on the Environment Committee in Congress. He has no science background whatsoever, yet he's going to tell the hundreds of climate scientists assembled in Copenhagen, you know, the people with the PhDs in the relevant fields, that they don't know what they're talking about. Education means nothing in America, because Mr. Inhofe is hardly alone. 3/4 of the Republican Congress basically agrees with him, and they're even pivoting from their old excuse of global warming needs more study to, oh shit, it's too late. Well, what are you going to do? Might as well keep burning coal. Congressman Joe Barton says the answer to massive climate change is simply to adapt, which is why he has a giant ark in his garage. These people are so stupid, they make me question evolution.
To end is a quote from Stephen Hawking explaining the importance of taking responsibility for climate change. One can see from space how the human race has changed the Earth. Nearly all of the available land has been cleared of forests and is now used for agriculture and urban development. The polar ice caps are shrinking and the desert areas are increasing. At night, the Earth is no longer dark, but large areas are lit up. All of this evidence that human exploitation of the planet is reaching a critical limit. But human demands and expectations are ever increasing. We cannot continue to pollute the atmosphere, poison the ocean, and exhaust the land. There isn't any more available.